Hey there, everybody. Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations. So we are going to go ahead and get deep dive into this here generator variable before we get to the rest of these, as this drives everything that you currently see. Now, what I mean by that is every variable that would be the same between everything that uses this generator is done here. So, I mean, you get to see the generator, name it, give it a priority. Then you have the surface sampler, transform info, height info, slope info, density info, spatial noise info, and whether you want to use landscape layers or not. Now, um, a little bit of important information. As you can see here, this index uses shared trees 2, but the other two use shared trees 1. I wanted to make sure that I express this. That everything within a biome does not have to use the exact same generator. They don't. The only thing that you need to make sure is that you name them differently. That is extremely important, that you give them a different name. That is the first thing you need to make sure that you do. Then after that, obviously, in some cases you'll want to give it a priority, and all that's going to do is say, hey, generate this one before you attempt to generate the other one. That's really all that is for. And then you have this generator graph. Do not change this. I have this here so that you can open it and modify it to your needs. If you do decide to change it, you need to understand a couple of things. I will go ahead and open this real quick. You need to make sure that you create a pin called data asset info, and that it uses an attribute set. It's normal, all of this stuff. That way you can pull out the DA info. So the data asset is pulling this information right here, the surface sample transform info, all of this stuff, and is generating it. If you are wanting to make changes and have your own additions and then also have them here in the data asset, you're going to need to go into the parent here, seeing what structures I am using. And if you don't care about having a struct, you just want to have them in a list like I do the landscape layers, you can do that as well. Just note that it may crash the engine, and that's not because of PCG. That's a data asset thing. When you're changing it, the system is going through and doing a lot of stuff, and sometimes things get jumbled up. So the engine will crash, but don't worry. Once you open it back up, you'll see that everything is still there and working. Uh, just something I want to make sure you were aware of. That is a very advanced option in comparison to what is here. I just want to make sure you guys knew that it was there. You then have this generator spatial noise setting. Open this up right here. And really, it's just messing with a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to change the seed here. Oh, I went way into the negatives. There we go. We'll give it a second to do its thing. You'll see that the tasks have started. And you'll see trees starting to move around. And that's all it's doing, is it's changing which trees to delete and which ones to keep. Now I say trees because that's all I'm using, with the exception of a spline, which we'll get to in a future episode. So that is how this graph works. It's just a bunch of noise settings. Play with them to your heart's desire and content. All right. Then lastly, because I wanted you guys to be able to have an easier way to make changes, it would require you to open up the graph to make the setting changes that you make, but you can place a graph in here of your own that has additional settings.